And welcome to Let Freedom Ring. My guest this week, Mark Nderu. Did I say it right?
You did.
All right, because I did. I'm still working on last names, and I have a last name that's everybody's called me Bolio my whole life. But
Bollier.
So, and I've known Mark for 20 plus years, and I still worry about butchering names. Last names, that is.
I'm used to it. For all my life, people have butchered my name, so
yeah,
it's a thing.
It's last names are tough. They're tough.
That's true. That's very true.
So Mark, where are you from? Where are you from, and where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. My background is Kenyan. My parents are both from Kenya. Both different tribes where my parents are from, but when they moved over here, they met each other. Lived in a couple of places until from New Jersey, I came to Mass, kind of spread out there for a little while when I was younger. And then eventually I just came to New Hampshire. I've been in New Hampshire pretty much, I grew up in New Hampshire all my life in Nashua.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Now, you've been to Kenya several times, correct?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah.
My first time I was 25.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very old. When I was younger, I was scared to go.
Yeah.
Because I used to be a really bad kid.
Yeah.
Not, that bad, but like my parents would be like, that would be my discipline. Like, you better act up or I'll send you to Kenya.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I don't want to go. So I went, and it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I encourage anybody that travels, they should definitely go. It's probably one of the greatest places to visit.
And you still have family there, or?
Yes, yeah. Part of on my dad's side, I have a big amount of family that's there. Cousins, some aunts. My grandmothers, they're both here. They kind of fly back and forth. Yeah. My grandfather's there right now, so.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, because I know you've been there a couple times. I think we were talking on Twitter one time, and like Messenger when you were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's one thing that everybody should know about you?
People know when people hear my name, they say, "Oh, that's that guy." Like, I'm just a very happy person. I like to make people laugh. I'm very outgoing. That's really it, man. Like, if I was to go anytime to God forbid, the first thing I would think people would remember me as is Mark was a stand-up guy. I was really always happy. Always smiling. Things really rarely got to me. Every now and then I'll have a little. I
think we all get that way.
Yeah, a little temper here and there, but I always like to think this for myself that I'm always a stand-up person.
Yeah, no, good answer.
Always real.
I can vouch for that.
Thank you.
Vouch for that. And myself, I know what that's like when sometimes you just had it. Some people have been mad that I've deleted them off Facebook. I say, well, you know what?
Things happen.
I don't need to have you on here.
It is what it is.
Now, sticking with the theme of the show, which is Let Freedom Ring, we've had all kinds of different opinions on this. What does it mean to you to be an American?
Gosh, I've been thinking about this ever since I started watching your show, and what is it like to be an American?
What does it mean to you?
Exactly? What does it mean to me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like everybody else. It's definitely we get a lot of freedom here, and I really appreciate that. There's countries that you go to and it's different. When I go to Kenya, there's some things that I can do that I can over here. You know what I mean? So it's I would say freedom. There is some opportunity, but I wouldn't say so much. Like, if you ever go to another country, there's some people that have more opportunity from where they were originally versus coming over here. So it's hard for me to say, honestly, man, because it's a lot, but it's very small. So it's very hard. I just have to go with just, I guess, freedom. Let freedom ring.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, and that's not saying that other countries, because there are other countries that are in similar boats that we're in
right.
there. So,
right.
No, I know. Good answer. I know it's not the easiest question ever, because
it's definitely a hard question to answer.
Now, nickname Dark Mark.
Yep.
Now, some people on the internet have found that name offensive.
I
don't. That's your nickname. That's part of who you are.
It is.
What do you say to the people that find that name to be quote unquote offensive? Are they just being SJWs or?
So let's rewind to where it started.
Yeah.
I was in eighth. I was in junior high. Junior high. Most of my life in school, I was always the only minority. I was only the black kid in the school, living in Nashua. So it was kind of a used thing. So when I was in junior high, it was more mixed, but mostly everybody knew me, just though being the only black guy in the school. So one day, this kid, he kind of told, like, he said my name. He said that name, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I kind of reacted like negatively, and I'm like, "Why are you calling me that?" And then a couple weeks or whatever went on, and like people started calling me that. So I was like, "All right, this is kind of getting to me," but at the same time, I can't fight everybody in this school. So it kind of grew on me eventually, and I just like put a stamp on it. I'm like, "All right, this is my name."
Yeah.
Dark Mark, and I kind of put it so it's me originally, me for me specifically. So I put 2 R's on Dark and Mark, so nobody really has that, that name except me. Like, I'm the one who created that in a way. So I'm not gonna say who said it. Shout out to him though. But people that don't know me, I know they're gonna have that reaction.
Yeah.
I know because when my parents and my family heard it, they were kind of like, "Wait, why are they calling you that?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "No, this is my nickname."
Yeah.
And actually to this day, like, I have uncles, I have little cousins that call me, and I'm just like, "You gotta relax."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I live by that name. That's gonna forever be my name. And actually, people that do know me, and I'll text them if I haven't talked to them in a while, and I'll be like, "Hey, it's Dark Mark." I won't say it's Mark because people are like, "Mark who?"
Yeah.
But if I say Dark Mark, they'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" So it's just something that's just gonna stick with me forever,
Yeah, because I mean, I posted a picture of us together before, and someone was a little taken back by it, and I go,
Right.
"Well, that's always what he's gone by."
Yeah.
I know what that's like. Where I've had the nickname Tiny Pipes.
Yeah.
Very different, but at first I didn't really care for it, and then
Right.
I said, "Well, if I embrace it, no one can use it against me."
Exactly. Same.
No. Good answer. And we've had conversations about race, the two of us, and growing up in an all white community,
Yep.
it's definitely it can't be. It's not easy. I have to assume,
no, for sure.
So, all right, going into current events, we got a lot going on in the country right now.
Yeah.
Harry Rogers, admitted KKK leader, has been sentenced to 6 years for driving a truck into protesters in June in Virginia.
Okay.
Thoughts on, does the punishment fit the crime? And should the KKK at this point in 2020 be labeled a terrorist group?
Okay, so this guy, he ran over some protesters.
Yes.
I think I did see this video a while back, and supposedly, like, the reason he got the 6 years was because these protesters weren't black or brown or whatever, so it didn't count as being racism. I think that's BS, honestly.
Yeah.
Giving him that 6 years, like, that's pretty much attempted murder, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that they definitely gave him a little bit of a leeway because of him being white.
Yep.
And the whole perspective of, because the protesters were white, they kind of gave him a leeway because of that too. So I didn't really understand that. And especially him being a leader for the KKK. Let's say there's a gang member who, whether he's Bloods, Crips, whatever, and he does an act of violence, or he murders or attempted to murder somebody. You think that same person that did that is gonna get 6 years for whatever he did versus this guy that's white that did that? Probably not. So I think the 6 years is definitely should be more. Yeah,
slap on the wrist,
exactly.
if anything.
It's like a slap on the wrist. So I think he definitely should have got more. I do think the KKK is like a gang.
Yeah.
Like, they're definitely they're out there for sure. There's a lot of them that are behind the other man or whatever. I don't know how to explain that, but they're hiding, but they're out there. You know what I mean? Whether they're cops, congressmen, just regular people, they're out there, but you can't really identify them, I guess. So I would say, yeah, they're definitely out there, and they're very active.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking about a group that's well over 100 years old.
Yes.
And it's crazy because we have a president that stresses Antifa should be labeled a terrorist group almost daily.
Yep. You're right.
But very silent when it comes to this group. And that's concerning.
Which I don't understand, to be honest, because he'll say that Black Lives Matter is this bad group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yet he's going to talk badly about that, but he won't say anything negative about the KKK.
You find, and I'm not being critical, but you find that a lot on the right. They're very quick to condemn certain things, but they're very silent on others.
Correct.
Or they just say, well, this is the way it's always been.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really an excuse. So, no, good answer. I think they should be.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that, here we are, Civil War ended in 1865, which kind of led to the rise of the KKK, and we're still having issues with them to this day.
Exactly.
Trump wants to be on Mount Rushmore. Does that make any sense to you? I know sometimes he loves the headlines. He says a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
Definitely one of his more crazy things I'd say he has said.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Hell no. I don't know what. Why?
Yeah. He thinks he's done more than Lincoln. A lot of the, if you listen to him,
so it's no, absolutely not. Like, if he feels like he should be on Mount Rushmore, then Lincoln, a bunch of other people should be up on there too, because especially Lincoln, because he's the one that freed the slaves.
Yeah.
So no, absolutely not. He should definitely dead that. That should not even be a thought.
Yeah, you just never know what he's going to say next.
Every day is something different with him.
Yeah.
Whether it's his voice or he's on Twitter. Because on Twitter, he's crazy on Twitter sometimes.
His Twitter feed is just too much. And even the people that I've had on the show that support him go, yeah, we'd like to see that gone.
Yeah.
Just craziness. Nashua right now has a mask policy. Any establishment you go into, you must have a mask.
Right.
They'd like to make that a little more strict to say that you should refuse a customer if they aren't having it. Do you think Nashua's making the right moves here? Should they continue making this stricter? Should people be wearing masks?
At a time like this, definitely wear masks. If you gotta enforce it, enforce it. You know what I mean? Like, this thing doesn't seem like it's gonna go away anytime soon. So wherever I go, I wear my mask no matter what. Even when I'm at work, I'll go to the grocery store. You gotta wear it. You know what I mean? Now there are some people out there that don't wear them, prefer not to. To each his own. That's you. You know what I mean? But for my own safety, I'm gonna wear it. I'm not gonna knock you for it. I'm gonna give you that eye, like, you should probably wear it.
Hey, nice job.
Exactly.
Thanks for caring about everybody
You're the
else.
reason why you're doing it. You're the reason why this is happening. But for me, I'm gonna wear it. I think it should be enforced. It's continue to be enforced wherever you go.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you go to your restaurant, you're gonna have to take it off when you gotta eat. Things like that. But
when you go to the bathroom, you put it back on.
Exactly. Yeah. So definitely keep enforcing it. We're definitely I think because of for New Hampshire, we've been outside like this whole time.
Yeah.
I've been kind of shaky about it, honestly, to be real with you, because we didn't really close down when this thing started. Not to say that it's a bad thing, because I feel like we kind of maneuvered our way during this whole thing versus any other state. So yeah, enforce it if you have to.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're doing the right thing. I think it should be statewide. I think it should be countrywide. I think we should have had a national policy on that. I know it's hard to enforce, and you're putting a lot of stress on regular workers. Mm-hmm. In Market Basket, you're putting stress on high school kids to make people wear masks, which, they didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
Making $10 an hour, whatever it is, like that's, so.
For facts.
I
know in Cali they were fining people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, then you're also putting added stress on the police officers too. So it is a tricky thing. I'd like to see everybody just come together and just be like, let's all agree on this.
Correct.
Wherever you stand, like, it's even if this didn't work at all, mm-hmm. What's it bothering?
Exactly.
Is it
Exactly.
So, Gonna change the order of the show this week. We're gonna go right into politics. I think current events and politics should actually be side by side because they're more related.
Okay.
Joe Biden makes his pick, and I apologize because I need to hear her name more in my head.
You want me to say it for you?
Yes,
Kamala.
Kamala. Obviously, there's a pro wrestler that just passed away that has a similar name, so I've heard it that way my whole life.
Yeah.
I think she's a good pick. There's some things there. What did you think of that pick for Joe Biden?
I was psyched about it.
Yeah.
Honestly. It was probably one of the greatest things. When I heard it, I was at work and I was listening to it on YouTube. And when I heard it, I immediately just got goosebumps because it's such a dope thing to hear that there's a black woman that will be vice president.
And half Asian too, sir. Mom's from India originally.
Yeah, so the mom's from India and the father's from Jamaica. So let me just say minority.
Yeah.
She's a minority woman
Yeah.
who's gonna be vice president. I'm saying gonna because these two are gonna win. Like
All right.
I'm praying it's gonna happen. So I was very excited. I was very happy that became a reality.
Now the only thing going against her, and I didn't hate the pick. I didn't love the pick. I kind of was like, Joe, you make a decision here. You got to pick somebody. She has a history of being a very by the book prosecutor.
Correct.
Pretty strict.
Yes.
She has locked up a lot of African Americans, Black Americans, I should say, for nonviolent crimes. We're talking marijuana and things like that.
Yes.
Does that go against her at all, you think? Or, I mean, Trump's probably going to run with that.
Yeah. I feel like this. Everybody's not an angel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she's done that. And I feel like that was when she was a prosecutor. That was what she had to do. That was her job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I agree.
you got to see past that.
Yeah.
You get me? So that's just what prosecutors do. Whether you're white, black, Spanish, Asian, whatever. That's just what they do. That's their occupation. So I'm not gonna knock her for it. You know what I mean? That's what she had to do. That's how it's gonna be. That's not what she is right now. Now she's a whole different person. I'm hoping, so to speak. You know what I mean? So like, I'm gonna continue rooting for her.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of exactly what I said before, and I hope they get it.
Well, I said something to someone on Facebook today where, they're like, well, we wanted Bernie and AOC. I'm like, well, one, AOC isn't old enough.
Yeah.
I think she's 31, I want to say, maybe 32. And I said, at the same time...
Shout out to the Bronx.
Yeah. At the same time, let's not rip these two down. There's a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
There's a lot on the line.
For sure.
So let's not start bashing them. Let's get through November. Then if you want to nitpick about stuff, then fine.
Go ahead. Exactly.
But let's let it be for now. So... good answer. I think you're right. That was her job. And I think a lot of people do use that against her, but a prosecutor's job is to get a conviction.
Correct.
Though not always right. Like last night I watched the Central Park 6 PBS special, and they should not have locked those kids up.
That was crazy.
You're talking about 14,
Yeah.
15, 16-year-old kids.
Yep.
And that whole story is for another day. Could probably do another episode.
We can be here forever talking stuff like that.
And I mean, I guess that's one thing about prosecutors I have an issue with. These kids were they were fed what to say.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So it's neither here nor there. We'll have to do another. Maybe we can do a half hour on that.
We can. I'll be back and do that if you want.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think makes us so divided in this country?
Trump.
But we were like that before him.
We were when yes, we were when it was Bush and Obama, but it wasn't as crazy then than how it is now. I was a little bit young at the time when Bush and Obama were going in office or whatever, but I feel like now because I'm older and like I'm very more entwined into what's going on.
Yeah.
That I feel like Trump. Again, now we're going back to when we were talking about the KKK thing. Like he is just like not for it, but he's pretty much like
very fine people on both sides.
Yeah,
Charlottesville.
Yeah, that's good. There you go. Good wording. So it's him. I feel like, man, it's just whatever he's saying. He's just kind of triggering it, and like people are just going, yeah, and obviously the other side is just going like no, and it's just like people are just butting heads,
I don't remember the election like when it was Obama Romney, Obama McCain, Bush Kerry, Bush Gore. I don't remember the divide being this strong. Now, if you look at the history of our country, it's always been this way. But I don't remember it just being so nasty. Now, social media kind of changed the game a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But, like a difference between John McCain and Donald Trump was, when someone started to be like, well, Obama's this. He's this nasty Muslim, whatever. And he goes, ma'am, he's a good man. The only criticism I had there was like, just because you're Muslim doesn't make you a bad person at all, But he tried to not let those things happen. Where Donald Trump just doesn't care.
And that's why I think it's just so much. It's so out there now because the way Trump talks so freely. Yeah. Now everybody that was like that back then, so now they're just kind of listen to what he's saying. They're like, oh, because he's saying it now, I can just come out and just say it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like that's why we're just.
Well, it's on a national stage now.
Yeah. That's why I feel like now everybody's just so divided because everybody just has the balls now to just say what they want to say and keep it moving.
No, I agree with that. Now you already kind of said. So who do you got in November?
Oh, Biden and Harris.
All right. Do you think the Electoral College could again, another time in our lifetime, cost the Democrats an election? Because that's what has happened now since we've been alive.
Yeah.
At least twice that I can think of, Bush and Trump.
I can tell. I don't know how to answer that one, to be honest with you, but I can tell you that now, because Joe picked Kamala, that women of minority are definitely going to be out there. Minorities for sure are going to be out there going to vote. I don't know if this is a fact, but when Obama was going for president, was it Indiana? A lot of minorities in Indiana came out, and normally it's like Indiana is more Caucasian. So like when he came out, so I feel like that is gonna happen.
Can the pandemic hurt though? Where you don't get because they talk about the mail-in voting.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. People are going to be afraid to go out and vote.
Yeah.
I
feel like they should definitely find an alternative.
How do we not have an app?
Right? We're in 2020.
We have an app for everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, someone would have an app. We can't figure that out? Or Yeah.
So you're right. That's a very good point because why are we mailing? This is not 1960.
Imagine if you just press a button on your phone and make your vote.
And vote.
We would have real elections in this country.
And everybody has a phone. There's nobody that does not have a phone, that doesn't have access to Wi-Fi.
Maybe somebody in poverty might not, but for the most part, people do. You're right. People do.
And then that's where you go for an alternative. If you don't have access to, phone or internet or whatever, all right, we can go to another place where you're able to walk down or drive down and vote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There should be alternatives, not straight up just go, okay, if you can't, we're not going to be able to have people to go and vote, literally walk in and vote, do mailing. No, we should have an alternative. We should definitely do something that has to do with, technology.
It's 2020. We haven't figured that out.
Definitely.
Put a man on the moon in the 60s.
Right.
But you can't.
You can't vote on our phone.
All right, quickly, because we do have sports and pop culture to talk about, let's just go quickly into the last-minute fan questions.
Okay.
From Nate Forsyth first. Hi, Mark. First, why are you so awesome?
First of all, shout out Nate. Nate's one of my good friends. Grew up together. Why am I so awesome? I don't know, man. It just comes naturally.
Second, who's on your wrestling Mount Rushmore?
Wow. Dan, I haven't watched wrestling in years.
I was surprised these questions from Nate, honestly.
Straight off the bat, I'll have to say DX.
Okay.
D-Generation X, the original DX. Dang, who else? Who was the guy? He was in WCW, long hair, had the face mask was like white and black.
Played blackface.
Not
Sting?
Sting.
That's face paint.
Okay, yeah. Him, Sting.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but man, that guy, he was.
I like Surfer Sting better, but yeah.
Sting. Who else? Dang. The Rock.
Oh yeah.
That's another.
Well, if you got Rock on there, then there's probably another one that you have to put on there.
Last but not least, I'm gonna have to go old school with this one. Booker T.
All right, that ain't that old school. Booker T didn't retire too long ago.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame twice.
Really?
We were there when he went in with the Harlem Heat with his brother Stevie Ray. If I were to put mine right off the top of my head, Hogan, Flair, Austin, Cena.
Ooh, I forgot Austin. Man, I cannot.
Steve
Austin.
And I because someone could say, well, you got to put Bruno Sammartino on there, but I go, Flair and Hogan, respectively, in their areas, dominated the '80s.
Yeah.
Austin dominated the '90s, I would say, and then John Cena's kind of picked up after that.
Yeah. John Cena, I feel like he was like a whole new era now. Like he just changed the game of wrestling.
He was the Hulk Hogan of the modern generation. Yeah. Instead of, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, he was saying hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Yeah.
Who's your current favorite superstar? Now, if you're not watching right now, I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't even know who's even out there now.
Yeah.
Is Kurt Angle still?
Yeah, he retired last year.
Yeah, after Kurt Angle, I kind of just drifted away from it.
Yeah, well, Nate, when I read these questions, I said, I don't think Mark watches wrestling anymore. So that's cool. Mike Bollier also asked, he goes, what do you think of Dan's hair? Now, I've been growing out the mohawk since the pandemic. It's been blonde. Now it's blue right now. What do you think of my hairstyle?
I see you painted it blue now. So
yeah.
It was bleached before.
Yeah, it's still bleached, but I just put blue dye into it.
So when I first saw it, it was with me and Mike. Mike is obviously your brother, good friend of mine, one of my really good best friends. When I saw it, the first thing that came to my mind was Butters from South Park.
I've heard that. I've heard people say that. Yeah.
And the Hulk's. Remember that show that the Hulk had, and there was a guy that used to follow him, like his assistant.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
He had a TV show?
Yeah, back in the day with like his family on.
Hogan Knows Best?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Brian Knobs.
Knobs, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You had that same look. I mean, you're not as like big, obviously, but like you had that same haircut and everything.
Yeah.
But it's different.
I'll tell you, to make your own. I mean, I've been cutting because usually I just shave it all off.
Right.
Cutting a mohawk is harder because I'd like it to be like more into it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do on your own to get it perfect. So I've been going with this.
To be honest with you, quarantine and this corona thing, like it'll make you do some different things. For me, like I've never had long hair like this, and I just never done it, and it kind of worked out for me, I guess. I mean, I'm still playing around with it and stuff, but like this quarantine thing just made everybody, do some different things with their looks.
The boredom will get to you.
Facts.
For sure. Last question from Mike. If you could choose one time period to live in besides the present day, what time would you choose and why?
That's a crazy question, but good one. Can I do two?
Sure.
The 90s.
Okay. As like an adult? Because you lived through it as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an adult, the 90s.
Okay.
And it's funny, I've had this conversation before too. The 40s.
Really?
They definitely didn't like me then. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
They definitely did not like me. But the way they just dressed, the way they moved, like I've seen videos too, and they just were very like stand-up-ish and like very like stealthy, like you know what I mean? Like there was just nothing really.
Now, are you talking about Black Americans in that time?
Yes.
The zoot suits?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Very clean, very stealthy. Like just nobody could touch you, kind of mentality. Definitely the 40s. I mean, like I said, I know they were definitely gonna hate me if I was.
You might serve in the war and then come back.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the 40s was just a very cool like time to be in.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Well, you ever seen the beginning of like Malcolm X, right? The movie.
Yes.
And at the beginning, he's in Boston wearing the zoot suits.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Obviously, he evolved as a human being. But,
Right.
But yeah, no, there was a flashy dressing back then. And they were using the song "Zoot Suit Riot."
Mm-hmm.
It was made by a white guy though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or the Brian Seltzer? No, was it the Brian Seltzer Orchestra? If I'm wrong on that, I apologize. Maybe it wasn't him.
No
it might have
fact
been
checking here.
Look, check that out. Let's go into sports. College football, Big Ten already done.
Yes, I saw that.
Are we going to get any college football, you think?
I heard the coaches were just like pissed about that too. They were going crazy about it. I mean, I kind of figured that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Mostly because, students, we're not even going to school right now.
Sure.
As it is, college-wise.
I
don't see it happening.
Quarantine them, though. If they're doing online classes.
Yeah, but also I feel like even football in general, like they're very. I feel it would be hard to do.
You're on top of
football
each other,
wise, yeah. And just in general, because I feel like even the NFL wouldn't do the same thing either. It would be difficult. It's easy because for basketball.
Yeah.
I know baseball they're not doing it.
Yeah, they're playing.
Oh, they are,
yeah.
but
they're doing it the worst way. They're not in the bubble.
Yeah, they don't have a bubble.
They're just traveling.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like it wouldn't work.
Yeah, well,
it wouldn't work.
What's interesting is the commissioner of the Big Ten, his son plays in the SEC. And the SEC, as of right now, said they are going to play. So there's been a lot of like, well, what if the commissioner of the Big Ten shows up to go watch his kid play? Which I don't think there's going to be fans in there.
Yeah.
So if he's going to be watching his kid, he's going to be watching from home.
Can you imagine all those people being out there? Because these stadiums are huge.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people. It would be chaotic. Like, it would just, everybody would catch it.
You can't have the fans, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Who do you think's gonna win the NBA Finals? Now they're in the bubble. Lakers number one, I think, right now.
Yeah.
I don't know who's number one in the East. I can't think right now. Is it the Bucks?
I think so. Milwaukee. Yeah, they're
again fact check us if we're wrong.
Yeah. We're number 3. Celtics are 3 right now.
Yeah.
But it's been an interesting season when they came back. It was not what I expected.
Yeah.
It's been a very good, interesting season right now, give or take, because we're doing, 8 games or something like that.
Yeah.
A little bit less, a lot less than what we normally do. Portland's been crazy. Trailblazers have been putting in work. Toronto is not looking like champions.
Oh, they lost a big star.
Yeah. This is going to be biased, so I'm just going to have to go with my Celtics, man. I'm just going to...
I'm calling that too. People are like, you're crazy. I go, have faith.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'll always forever say. You got to have faith. I mean, that's my team, man. You can't go against them. All
right. And if football, which it's scheduled to happen, can the Patriots win the division with Cam Newton? I mean, they also lost some big players.
Yeah, like 6.
Hightower's out.
Yeah.
There's a bunch more.
Yeah.
Is Cam got his work cut out for him now?
I think we'll make it.
All right.
We'll make it. They seem like, I was just watching, they had their training today. I think it was the first training day they had today.
Yeah.
And they seemed like they were all, doing pretty well with each other. It might be different, obviously, when they're on the fields versus how they are when they're practicing, but Edelman seems like he's real chill with him now.
Yeah.
He kind of forgot about Brady.
See, Brady goes, I will always be your first.
Yeah. He's like that ex-girlfriend that you don't want to talk to anymore. Brady's still there, but Edelman he's focusing who he's with right now, and that's Cam Newton. And I'm actually glad that Cam Newton is.
Oh, I was very psyched. I mean, the guy deserved another. People get hurt.
Yeah.
And they need to bounce back.
He was treated bad.
He's 31.
Yep.
He's not that old. I mean, I guess for football, but a quarterback, Brady's 40, going to be 40. He's 43.
Exactly.
So
he's going to dominate. I'm so glad that he's a player. He's with the Patriots. So.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite sports moments?
2008, when the Celtics won.
Did you go to that parade?
I was at the parade.
Okay, I thought so, yeah.
I was at the parade. We actually saw, me and a couple of buddies, we saw this guy who looked just like Kobe Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace. He looked exactly like him, and everybody was just like booing him and all this because he knows the whole rivalry between LA and.
Was he dressed in Celtics gear?
No, he had a. Yes, he was.
Okay.
He was. He had a Pierce jersey.
Yeah.
So he was actually, he was with us, but we all just saw him and we were just like, boo, But it was kind of funny. But yeah, that was my best moment, definitely. What else?
We have a lot around here.
That's for sure. 28-3. Patriots.
Yep. Unbelievable.
That was the best.
Unreal.
I remember I was at my house and I was watching it and I was just so mad at first, and then things started turning around and I was I was crazy happy, let's just say that. It was the best. That was another good moment. The Bruins. I'm not much of a hockey fan.
Yeah.
But when the Bruins won, I forgot what year it was. 2011. Yeah, we were. I was at the bars with a couple of buddies, and we were out there on Main Street, and they closed off Main Street so everybody could celebrate. That was a crazy moment. I've never seen that before, so that was intense. That's pretty much it. I can so far think. Oh, Pedro Martinez. When he got that old man's head, it kind of just tossed him.
Don Zimmer. I have that picture hanging up in my place. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That was such a funny moment.
I couldn't believe it. But, and then they look back like, I can't believe Pedro did this. Like, Pedro didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything. He just kind of just got him and just. The guy was coming at him,
Whatever Don was thinking in that moment, as 70-plus-year-old man to go up a guy in his prime,
he knew he fucked up.
And we'll edit that out. Sorry, Justin.
Sorry.
Pop culture, Fresh Prince. They're gonna do a reboot, but I guess it's gonna be a little more serious.
Yeah, I saw that.
It feels like we're talking about reboots on the show a lot because there's a Who's the Boss one coming. We talked about last week. What do you think of that? Is this getting a little out of control?
Yeah,
reboot everything.
I saw that, and I guess it's gonna be like a drama. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, there was dramatic moments of Fresh Prince.
Yeah. But it was mostly mostly comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly comedy. But I saw the trailer and I was like, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's gonna last.
No, I mean, back in the 90s, though, you would have a show like Fresh Prince or Family Matters or even Full House or whatever, where you just have these really serious episodes. You'd be like, you know. I mean, Family Matters is one of the first shows, of our time talking about race and how, black people are treated by the police.
Yeah.
Eddie had that run in, and his dad was a police officer.
I'll tell you, if they had the same scenario as they did it back in the 90s with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, if that was a sitcom, maybe it would work out. Let's say Will was the father now, like he became,
he's older than Uncle Phil was.
Let's say like now they turned the tables, like now he's the father, he has his kids or whatever. Maybe that could work.
Yeah.
But what they're doing now with this whole drama thing, I don't think it's gonna pan out.
How do you recreate a Will Smith?
Right.
You can't.
Right.
You can't.
You can't do that.
We're good. Let's see here. Do you have any shows to recommend right now that people should be watching?
So right now I'm watching Community.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's a pretty good show.
Yeah.
My sister put me on that, and I like it. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of TV. It's really that. Some stuff on Netflix. There was a show that I saw on Netflix. It was about the riots in L.A.
In 92?
It's called LA 92, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely watch that.
Yeah.
It's not a show, it's a documentary of what happened in the LA riots, but they go into depth of how it started, where it began. Crazy.
Well, a lot of people say, because those were the Rodney King riots.
Yes.
I don't, people... I don't know, because things are so different in this age, where you can just post something, and maybe you get more on film because everybody's like, the riots are, I don't feel, maybe I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. I don't think like we're completely rioting all over the country. We've had them.
Yes.
Those riots it took a long time to put those out.
Yeah, that was an intense one.
You know, so.
And that was in LA, and LA is pretty big.
Yeah. So are things really, that was, and that was one of your first times that you had it on videotape. Mm-hmm. And now, with the invention of the iPhone, you have all this stuff out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's definitely, it tells you though that every time we think we've kind of come far, we take some steps back.
Correct. For sure. Yeah. It's a good thing that you said that, because there's times where, I'll be driving and there'll be a time that I get pulled over. I have to put my camera on because I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, I have that. I get scared every time that cop is behind me, whether he's stopping me or not, because they'll check your plates or anything, whatever, and like they'll see that there's a black man driving this car. You know what I mean? There's been times where like I've had a certain car and they're looking at me and they're like, it's not adding up to them. Why is this black man driving this nice car? You know what I mean? So it's sad that we have to come to that. You know what I mean? Everything has to be posted. Everything needs to be, on camera for obviously specific reasons. It's tough.
No, I totally understand. I mean, I've had someone say to me recently, they're like, do I lean left? Yes. Crazy leftist. Racism doesn't even exist anymore. And I go, okay. As I said, why don't you ask some people that have actually faced that instead of just making your own opinion on it?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you feel like you're not a racist, fine. But you think you know everything that's going on? You've walked in other people's shoes?
Exactly.
That's sometimes I have a problem with that when people
For
make
sure.
assumptions.
Especially those that like, those people that will say like, oh, I have a black friend, so I can have this feeling.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't mean anything. Like, you can have this black friend, but like, do you know what he goes through on a daily basis, him or her? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever talked to him or her in that sense? Try to understand, like, how he's feeling or how she's feeling, or, put yourself in their shoes. Yep. You know what I mean? Just don't have this assumption, there's no racism in America.
And when people say stuff like that, it makes me realize they're afraid to talk about race.
Yes.
I think we've had this discussion now.
Yes.
And I think we were at a barbecue, we were talking about this, and you said, well, I grew up in an all-white community. Yeah. Imagine what that's like, being the only one that looks different from everybody else. Yep. And I said, you know what? I remember I told you when I was in New Orleans, and I went to a Popeye's chicken, and I was the only white person there. Yeah. That took 27 years of my life for it to happen. Yeah. Now, you're right. Like, did I think anything? I didn't think anything bad was going to happen to me, but I knew that I looked different than everybody there. So you do feel different. Yeah. Right. I mean, but people they're afraid to face their own bias. So they say, well, race, it's not happening anymore. No, that's not how it works. Right. So.
And I'm not gonna say that like race has been a bad thing, towards me. There's been some incidents that I've had, and but like I can't say that like I'm gonna be this top guy and like I'm gonna be this everything black and whatever. It's that is gonna be always gonna be a thing. You know what I mean? But I like nobody that is white that I'm affiliated or like friends with. They've never done anything bad towards me. Yeah. So I'm not gonna feel bad. I'm not gonna feel negative towards them because of their color or their mindset of how they feel, whether it's racism or not. But I'm gonna definitely put you on check. Like if you say this, there isn't racism. I'm gonna put you on check and let you know like how I feel about that. Yeah. I'm gonna let you know where I've come from on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree.
Because there has been things, before, and and I'm gonna approach that and let you know, like things like this has happened to me. You know what I mean?
And until you've been in someone else's shoes, don't tell them how to feel about something, right, or about their experiences. Right. I never liked that. Right. I never liked to hear anybody do that. Yeah. So no,
it's hard, man.
And you know what though? we're able to have real conversations.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people
That won't.
They won't face their own bias.
Yeah.
They won't even talk about the times that they may have had a racist thought in their head because they don't want to face it. And you don't get progress that way.
And that's what irks me so much. Like, knowing that there's some people that, you know, I'm very close with, or, you know, people that I know that I'll try and have a conversation with, and they just kind of...
Yeah. They don't, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it irks me so much because I just want to shake them and be like, yo, listen, like, I want you to just realize what is going on and what has been happening. Like, I just want you to just have another perspective on it.
Yep.
Just don't be small-minded. You know what I mean? That's what I like to say. Don't be small-minded. Open your eyes and, like, see what's happening. Just because there's a bunch of, you know, minorities in one place and you're just that odd man out, doesn't mean something bad is going to happen.
Yep.
If anything, those guys, if something bad happens to you, if anything, those guys are going to help you out.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I'm glad you said what you said about the thing in Popeyes, because you weren't scared. You weren't like, oh, what's going to happen to me? You just felt awkward because you're like, okay, I'm the only white guy in this place. You know?
And that's the thing. Growing up in New Hampshire, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if I could tell anybody anything, have real conversations, but don't listen to react. Listen to hear.
Correct. That's true.
You know?
That's very true.
All right, quickly, because we're starting to get to that, you know, towards the end of the show.
Okay.
5 favorite albums.
Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
I love that one.
The Black Album.
Yep. I thought that would be the end of Jay-Z, and he eventually came back.
4 for 4 was not bad.
Yeah.
It was not bad. Sheesh. Young Jeezy. All TM 101s, that all his series or whatever that he has. Jeez, who else?
That's 4 right there. What do you round it out with?
Yeesh. That's such a difficult thing to think about, because there's just so many great albums out there.
Yeah.
Ready to Die.
That's what I was wondering if you're gonna say that, because that's in my top 5.
Yeah.
But I'm the host, so I don't have to answer this question.
No, I could definitely listen to that. I'll probably do that when I'm on my way out of here. One more. Damn, what is it? There's so many. Like,
it's a tough question.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have to answer it.
I wish that I can just think of just one, like, classic that's just. We kind of have the same taste. So what would you?
To round it out would be Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z. I put that up there. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But again, then I also like 40 Ounce to Freedom from Sublime. That's one of my favorites.
Kanye West,
College
Dropout.
Yeah. Yeah, well, people have nominated me to do like the 10 albums thing, and as much as I'm not really a Kanye fan anymore, personally, that is one of my all-time favorite albums, and I could listen to it all the way
throughout. No skips.
5 favorite movies, quickly.
Home Alone.
Okay.
Home Alone 2.
All right.
Definitely Home Alone 2. Home Alone 1 was good, but Home Alone 2. Aladdin.
All right. I own both these movies.
I'm old school, man. Step Brothers.
Yep. Good movie. Funny. Very funny.
Barbershop. One more. It has to be an action movie. Fast and the Furious.
Okay. First one? I think that is the best one they did.
Yeah, first one. Because they got into the nitty gritty of driving. All the other ones were just like, they just looked it up to something else. I love them, but definitely the first one.
Yeah, no. R.I.P. Paul Walker as
yes.
well. All right, my favorite segment of the show. Blank versus blank.
There we go. I love this one. Let's do this.
First question. I've asked almost everybody this lately.
Okay.
More responsible for the Patriots' success now that Brady's left, I have to ask this.
Okay.
Tom Brady or Bill Belichick?
Hey. Brady did do the work, but Belichick was the brains. So I feel like Belichick.
All right.
Yeah.
I've said Belichick myself.
Okay.
He's the one shopping for the groceries.
Yep.
He puts, the team. He puts the team together for
Yep.
him. Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac Shakur?
Damn. Putting me on that one. They're both equally great. Rest in peace, by the way, to both of them. Tupac has some really good.
He left a lot of material.
Yeah. Biggie was good also too. I mean, because I'm on these. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
Can I just go with both?
I mean, that's kind of defeating the purpose.
All right, let's go Tupac.
All right. Growing up, I loved Tupac.
Yeah.
I will say Tupac's probably. I'll pick him too.
Yeah.
But Ready to Die is probably my favorite rap album.
I probably can memorize more Tupac songs than Biggie.
Yeah, I think I listened to the greatest hits from Tupac over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I bought it at Walmart. I didn't know that they would edit it. So like years later, I had to buy it. I had to rebuy it.
That's the funny thing is like my Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
My mom bought it for me.
Yeah.
When it first came out, not knowing that there was edited and
Yeah.
parental advisory, so she bought me the parental advisory one. So I was listening to it and like I was hearing all these swears and I didn't know what it was, and like my mom heard it one day and she's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Tupac, the CD gave me." She's like, "Give me that CD," and I just never saw that CD after that.
Yeah,
and I was so sad, but that's when I found out about curse words and parental advisory.
Yeah, I mean the first, just a side story. Colin Wood, who grew up in our neighborhood, right?
Yep.
And his brother Evan had all the rap albums. And remember "Crush on You" by Lil' Kim? She had a song like that, and I was like, "Oh, Lil' Kim," and so I was like, "Can I borrow that album?" Well, the remix of it, I don't even think was on. It was called Hardcore.
Okay.
Have you heard anything come out of Lil' Kim's mouth?
Oh, it's grimy.
Imagine being in 6th grade, or maybe it was 7th grade, and I was like listening and go, "Oh my God!"
She was grimy.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yeah.
Things I had never heard in my life.
Yeah.
So I gave it back to him the next day. Garnett or Pierce?
Pierce.
The truth is always...
He's the OG. He was the one that started it, honestly. Well, not started it, but between them two.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite basketball player. As much as I love Scottie Pippen, Pierce was a Celtic.
Yeah, for sure.
TV or movies?
Movies.
You don't have to invest a ton of time, I guess.
Yeah,
you
I
watch
like
it once.
I like a good just long story and boom, it's done.
All right. Will Smith or Martin Lawrence?
Martin.
Really?
To this day, I still laugh at Martin shows. I do laugh at Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but there's more. I feel like there's more to connect with Martin.
And they were so good together in Bad Boys. I don't think, for whatever reason, Martin Lawrence's kind of like career didn't go the same way as Will Smith. Like Will Smith never really left the public eye, but Martin Lawrence kind of faded a little bit.
He did, but he was really straight up about his comedy stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like he went towards, doing stand up.
And he did more his act was more raunchy than Will Smith.
Yeah. And Will, he wasn't really about stand up comedy. He was just more TV. True. So maybe that's why Will was more of the face for TV, and Martin was more underground, comedy stand up ish.
And Will Smith. And have to swear to sell records. I don't even know what that Eminem line is. Nashua, and I know you spent a lot of time in this other town in the past, or Lowell.
I would have to say, I'm gonna have to go with Lowell.
Really?
There's more going on,
A Mill City there.
Yeah.
I
feel more there. I feel more comfortable when I'm out there.
Okay.
Even though I did grow up here, once I got my license, I was always driving to Lowell.
Yeah.
Always hanging out with my buddies out there. So.
Ken Kamadi lived there. Remember Ken?
Yep, he's still out there.
Yep. I still have him on. Facebook.
Shout out Ken.
Yeah, we had a good time at UNH. All right, here's the toughest one. In blank versus blank. Two brothers of mine.
Hit me with it.
Michael Bollier or Robert William Bollier.
I mean, I gotta say, Mike. I've known Mike since I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Definitely Mike. Mike has literally, like, anything that I've done when we were together, Mike was always next to me to do it. Whether it was negative or it was positive. Not saying everything I did was negative. But there was a lot of things that Mike did for me that I would never have thought any of my friends would ever do.
Yeah.
Whether it's, we got into a fight with somebody, or whether it was like him defending me about something. Because Mike was always, and it was still always, is defending me when it comes to things, whether it's race or, just anything. You know what I mean? I remember when we were in, I was like, we were in fifth grade, I believe, and I did something, and like I had to go to the office, and I was just bugging out, like crying, and I was like hysterical. I was just like trying to get out of this whole thing, and I'm like, Mike was there. Mike will vouch for me.
Yeah.
And he was not there at all, and like he knew nothing about this. And they called him to the office, and I'm over here, and I'm like, panicking, and I'm like hoping he's just gonna like help me out with this. And Mike was there, and he definitely he didn't even take the fall. He was just like, oh no, he was not a part of this. Like, I was hanging out with him, this and that, and I got off. And
yeah.
So Mike is definitely a ride or die friend, and I love that guy to death. So definitely Mike.
All right, fair enough. I love them both, obviously. Both great guys.
Yeah.
But anyways, Mark, I really appreciate you coming on the show. This has been a really good episode.
Appreciate it.
We'll have you back again. Maybe by that time we don't have to wear masks all the time. I doubt this, but I think this is our new life. But but until next time, everybody keep your heads up and let freedom ring.
Peace.